2022 have installed in your machine. I'm going to open this app. Click here and open. But you can see here, this is the user interface. You will be able to get it. So here, there's a choice, create a new project. Click on here, create a new project. Now you can see here, C Sharp, Windows and desktop. So here I'm going to select as first C Sharp. You have to select C Sharp. At this time, I'm going to select the application which has Windows. Here I'm going to select as web. So here the option web. Click web. Here you can see here ASP.NET Web API. So at the moment we are not using this one. We are using this one, ASP.NET Core Web API. Okay, here we have used this RESTful HTTP service, all the things we have to configure over here. ASP.NET Core Web API. Select this option, click next. Here you have to give the name of the project. I'm going to name of the project as React ASP CRUD. Click next. Click create. You have to wait until the project created. After project has been created, you are getting this window, right? So here, this window here, this is your project name, React ASP CRUD. So you can see this is our folders, controller, properties, all the things are there. Now first what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to add some dependencies. So first select the React ASP CRUD, this project, right click. Now here you can see manage new get packages. Here we have to download the packages. Now here where you will be able to install your dependencies, right? So here the install update, you can click browse tab. Here first I'm going to install the entity framework core design. So you write entity framework core design. You just set this one, entity frame core design. You just type on this one, entity framework core design. Here you can see the second one, Microsoft entity frame, sorry, this one, not this, entity framework core design. So here you will be able to find it over here. There should be SQL. So we need here Microsoft entity core design. This one should be our first dependency. We have to install it, right? Click on this one, click install. It asks to click OK, accept the license. Now you can see the installation has been completed, this package. After that, second one, I'm going to install the SQL Server in order to connect with the databases. So SQL Server. So here, if you go to the code first approach, you have to download it. Okay, right? So this is must. Okay, so here I'm going to go to the code first approach. So here you have to type the database SQL Server. So SQL Server. SQL Server, not SQL Server design. I need a SQL Server. Here, Microsoft Entity Framework Core.xm SQL Server. You have to install this package as well. Click OK. Accept the license. Third dependency, I'm going to install it as a tools. Entity Core Tools. Tools. We have to get the tools. Not common tools. We have only the tools. design. Here entity, Microsoft entity framework tools. Select this one, install it. Click OK, accept the license. That we have to install the JSON. So you have a new soft JSON, this one. Click on the first option, click install, click OK. You can see all the dependency installations completed. So you can see this is your project ASP.NET, React ASP CRUD. Here you can see here the dependencies. They are the separate dependency packages created. Under the package you have a packages. So these packages you have, what are the packages you install, it will be listed out. Core design, SQL server and tools and news of JSON in order to access the JSON formats. Right? These packages are must. Right? Okay. After done the stuff, the second step, what I'm going to do is here. So I'm going to this screen, I'm going to close them after done the stuff. This one also you have to close them. Right. Now here, you have to, this is a controller. Okay. After that, what I'm going to do is then, I'm going to create a models. So how to create the models? So I'm going to create a separate folder, right click, add, new folder. This folder I'm going to name it as models. So models folder. This models folder, I'm going to create a model, right click, add, new item, class student, student, class student, add, okay, the blank class has been created. Now here, first what I'm going to do is, here I'm going to, inside the class, the blank class, inside the class, first I'm going to create the three fields, ID, student name and course. So first what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create here, first I'm going to create public, look at the public, int, ID, so that get and set method. Get and set method. The same thing, Control C to copy, Control V to paste below. Second one should be string. This one should be student name. Here shortly write a st name, student name. Get and set method. We have another variable I'm going to create as course, string course. Right. We have three properties. Okay. ID, name, student name, and course. Right. So these are the database fields, table fields. So here I'm going to create the ID. Okay. So we have to specify the key. So I'm going to create a key. So write like this, key, key. So create the key. The primary key. You have to create the primary. You have to click this one. Here it automatically import the component here using system component model data annotation. It automatically created, right? You have to save this one. After done the things you have to create. Okay, now your model has been created successfully. Now after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the student DB context. Okay, the student DB context I'm going to create, right? You have to create the separate folder, otherwise you will be creating this folder as well. Okay, create the model folder as well. Yeah, otherwise you can create the different folder as service, and you inside the service folder you have to create it. Right, so I'm going to create inside this folder also. Uh, Select the model folder, right click, add. Here I'm going to create the another class, new item, class. This class I'm going to create as student, student DB context. class. It's a context class I'm going to create it. The blank context class. This class I'm going to inherit the DBContext. This DBContext which will be inherit from entity core. Okay, entity core application DBContext. Okay, it will be here. If you are not installed the Microsoft entity core, it will be not, you can't access this DBContext class. Okay, it is reside on the entity core application, right? After the other stuff, what you're going to do is here, I'm going to click on this one, this pencil symbol. You have to generate constructor student DB context option. Here, this is the format you have to generate it. Okay, this is the format they given. This is how they communicate with the database access, right? So click on this one. Here we have created the database. Okay, we have created the databases. You have to create the databases. Okay, right. Okay, now after that, what you are going to do is here, I'm going to, in order to create the database, first you have to write public dbset. Here we have the student. Tab key, you press tab key. So student, you press tab key. It will be this annotation will be you press tab key. Okay, you no need to type anything else. It automatically, if you have clicked the dbit set, it automatically, we have only one models student.css. This model it will be indicated. If you press tab key, it will be automatically you have done the things. Okay, students. Okay, students. It will be get and set method. Right? Very simply, it will be like this. Okay. After that, what you are going to do is we have to make it as student. This one also student. Right. After that, what you are going to do is here. I'm going to do anything is you have to write protected. You have to write anything is protected. You have to write protected. You have to write the access basically protected. Okay, protected. Override. So here we have to create database connection. I'm going to give the database connection on configuring okay, the database connection. Press the tab key on your keyboard. It playing. Okay. If you have to press one configuring, if you type one configuring, it automatically you have to type DBContext builder. Inside here, you have create the database connection. Press tab key on your keyboard. It automatically indicated it. J option builder. Use SQL Server mean. If you press tab key, it automatically you have to they ask to create your database connection. Okay, you ask to create the database connection, right? So here, what you're going to do is you have to inside here you have to given the database connection over here. But very simple, you have to given the database connection. If you are not installed SQL Server, you have to install the latest version of SQL Server. Okay, I already installed the SQL Server, right? While installing the SQL Server, okay, while installing the SQL Server, what is the user credential you have used? What is the username you have to, while installing the SQL Server, what is the username you have given along with the password? You have to given the user credential inside here, right? Now, first what I'm going to do is, we have to test that. So first go to the view server explorer. So click the server explorer. You can hear the DB connection. All things are there. Now here you can see simply. I'm going to click the properties. You have a database connection is there. Okay, we have to modify them. This one. Okay, this is a database connection, right? The database connection is there. Okay, now what I'm going to click this is the same thing. Inside the connection string, I'm going to get that. Okay, if you the first time you haven't get this one. Okay, okay, so what I'm going to do is here I'm going to try it manually. Then you will be able to understand how to create the database yourself. So here you have data source. You type data source. Okay, data source equal dot means the current machine. It will be indicated the current machine. If you have used any server, you have to specify the name of the server over here. This, if you are using the current machine means your current computer, you have to specify dot. It automatically indicates your name of the computer. Right. After that, you have to init here catalog your database name. Catalog means your database name. Catalog equal your database name, whatever name you can give. I'm going to give the database name as ESMS. You can write LBS. You can give BS. After that, you have to write user ID equal SA. While I am installing the user ID, I will provide the SA. Password equal 123. You have type 123. Right? That's it. Okay, that's the thing you have to write. After that, you have to write trust server certificate. 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 Certificate equal true. That's it. Trust server certificate. You have to, the spelling mistake, you have to check it 2 or 3 times. This must trust server certificate. Okay, true. That's it. Catalog LBS, right? That's the thing you have to write. Okay, that's the thing. This is how we have created a database. Okay, very simple, right? After that, this is a database connection. Your database, what is the name you have created? LBS. This is the name you have given there. You have to create a database on your SQL server, right? So this is user credential. Now you have what are the currently databases available. You will be able to check. Now I'll be okay. First, you have to check what are the databases available. Now you have a good idea. Now you can see here these are databases. You can click the database, this icon. You can see these are database there, right? This already I have created this LMS already created, right? Now I'm going to create this database, right? So you can see, look at this one. Now here I'm going to change as init LBS. You have to write other things are same. Right now here you have to change this one as a student DBContext. You have to write like this, right? Now, in order to create a database, what I'm going to do is first things here we have this is the database location we have given here. This is the name we have to create the database. So first I'm going to go to the programming.cs. So here I'm going to type. I have to just paste. I given this course. Don't worry about that one. Paste this one. Before the app, I'm going to give the build a service at context student DB context. Okay, the student DB context means what is the context name you are given. This same context you have to given as a programming.css file. Build a service at DB student DB context option. Use SQL Server builder configuration. Student DB context. The same name you have given. What is the name you have created? DB context you have given here. This is the thing you have to give. That is very important stuff. After that, uh, app setting.json file. Go here. Here also we have to give the connection string. Okay, connection string also the important stuff. Right, the connection string. Comma. So write the connection string. Right. Here, student DBContext. This is the context name. Server dot database. Here, what is the name? Okay, LBS, the database name. Right. So you have to give this one. Right. This option. That's it. That's the thing we have to do it. Right. Now let's save all. Now let's do the things. Connection string also we have given. Connection string you have to given this one. This one, what is the name you are given the same connection string. Application related JS as well. Right, no problem. Now let's create the database. So after that, you have to save all tools, SQL, NU get manager, package management. Here you have to given right. You have to click right add migration ini tab. Right, you have to create the database. You have to type like this: add migration or migrate the database ini tab. Press enter key. Right, build success, use remove migration. You have to create it like this. Right, now what I'm going to say, I'm going to update the database. Update slash database. Press enter key on your keyboard. Now you can see the update, all the modules are completed successfully here. So it will be created your database here. You will be created all the tables here. Okay, now you will be able to checking through your SQL server. Refresh it. Go to the database and check it. Here the LBS is there. Inside the LBS database, you will be able to see the table, which is a student table. You will be able to see the tables. What's the table you have to create? Okay, very simple. Here, all the things are there. Right? Now let's back to our application. Now you can see here, there is a separate folder has been created, which is a migration. You can see here. Inside the migration folder, you have a different two files are created. Here, this is a migration files are created. You can see here. Inside the migration files, you can see here the complete the table creation model is there. What's ID, name, course. You will be able to see here all the details inside this migration folder. Okay, very simple. Right. Now our migration has been created successfully. Now I'm going to go to create the controller. So go to the controller folder, right click. I'm going to create a new controller. So add new controller. Select as API, empty, API controller empty. Click add. Here I'm going to create the name as student controller. Student controller. Click add. Now you can see here your controller has been created successfully. You can see here the student controller.cs here. This is the file route API controller. This is the API access, right? So here this is the class student controller. It inherit controller base, right? Now here first what I'm going to do here is here I'm going to create the here to create private. Here to create private read only student context, student DBContext, student DBContext. You have to create the student DBContext. Right. Now what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to create the public, you have to write public student public student controller. So you write student controller. You write student controller. You write here student. Here press tab key on your keyboard. It will be take care of all the things. Now here after that you write just simple the constructor. This is a constructor I have created. It's a constructor. This also this d construct, right? You have to press tab key on your keyboard that again, right? So it will be take care of this one, right? You have to create a constructor over here. Okay, right. After that, what you are going to do is here the same thing. This one right here, right? Simple, right? This is the right. This is the efficient rate, right? Like this, db, right? Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is after that, read only context db context, right? Context, right? Right. Now I'm here. I'm going to create the API here. So you write first one HTTP. HTTP. This one should be the GET request. I'm going to load the value. So HTTP GET. Now here we have write route. So write routes. So the routes. You write get student. Get student details. Right. Get student. Right. Here you have write the public assign task I enumerable write student. So right here get student. Open and close curly bracket. Get student. Right here write return. Return. You have to put assign. You have to write await. You have to put them as await. You have to write student DBContext dot student DBContext dot student property dot to list assign this one. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. Perfect. This is how you have to load the student details. Okay, right? Right. So after that, what you are going to do is I'm going to at the moment we don't have a student details. We have to write another thing is a post method. So you have to get the same thing. I just copy and paste it. This one you have to write get post. Post. This is a post request. When you get the records, you have to write a get request. The get post this is a get post request, right? So this one should be the get student post. So you have to write here student. You have to write here student add student. Add student. Right, routes. We have to add student. Now here we have to write so public the same thing. Public assign this one. Copy paste it. You have to write here task. Task. You have to write task. You have to write student. Add student. Student add student. You have to write student. You have to write object student. You have to write object student. You have to write student object. Write like this. Look at the object of student. How that what you are going to do is here? This context. You have to store the things. All the records will be stored in this context, right? Context dot student. The student. Inside the student context table, you have the student table. Dot add method. You have to save this object of student. What are the objects you are receiving here? via the front end, you have to save it in the context, right? After that, you have to write await, press tab key on your keyboard. You have to context dot save. After that, you have written tab key on your keyboard. Here, object it take care of it, right? Very simple. So to add the student. After that, what you're going to do is we have to uh, update the student. So how to update the student? The same thing. This one should be there. HTTP patch, not post. This time patch. So patch request, right? So the routes, this one should be there. Update student. When you update the student, you have write like dot. You have write like this here. Slash. We have a ID. We need ID for update the student. You have write like this, right? After that, what you are going to do is you have write public assign task student update student. Update student, you're right, the object. Paste it over here, open and close bracket. Now here we have what you're going to do the same thing. You have right here the same thing. You have right from db, so db dot, this one should be the update record. So you have right entry, you have right the student object, you have to call the student object dot state. Press the tab key, it automatically take care of it, the 2022, right? What you are going to write, okay? It is modified. The entry you have to, if you have to modify the what's the entry on your table, you have to make the adjustment. It will be modified. All right. That's why it will take like this. Right. Modified. Here right called await. But press tab key on your keyboard. Await student DB context. Save changes. Right. Very simple. Here right return. Press tab key on your keyboard. Tab key on your keyboard. Here it will finish. Return object. Right. After that, we have another CRUD operation which is a delete record. So how to delete the record? Okay, here it will mention HTTP delete. Press tab key on your keyboard. How to what you are going to do is here write the routes. These are the same routes, so just copy and paste it. Here on only you write delete student. Delete student. That's it. Delete student. The same ID. You get the ID and delete the records, right? So yeah, this time you have to write the public bold delete, press the tab key on keyboard, delete student, get the ID, right? So inside this, you have write the things, right? So you write bool array, you have type, create the boolean type. Here write the a equal, okay, the variable a, what is the value you can create? False. At the first time you have false, okay, right? If the record is available only, it will be true, right? So you have to create the variable var student equal student context, this db context dot student dot find id, find id and delete the records, right? If the student is, if yeah, it mentioned tap, press the tab key. If student is not null, what we are going to do is I'm going to delete the record. So how to do this, the if the here this one should be bool is true, so write a equal true, press tab key in your book, right? Now what you're going to do is you have to write the entry. So here student, uh, you write student, uh, you write dot entry, sorry, DBContext, student is fine, right? Here write context dot entry student, student dot state, plus tap key on your keyboard, it will take care of it, right? If the entry is there, if the student is not null, if the record is there, it will be delete the record into the database table. And here you write the table text dot save changes. Else you write result equal to a equal false. That's it. After that you write return a. That's it. That's the thing. That's how we have to deal the record. These are the API you have to write it. Okay, very simple way we have done it. Right, simple one. Now let's execute and check whether it's working fine or not. It's a Swagger. We have used a Swagger this one. So all the things we have to done. Save all. Let's run it. Now you can see here after execute the application, this is the APIs, right? You can load the Swagger. It's defaultly come as a Visual Studio 2022. Okay, okay, no need to do anything else. Okay, here it automatically coming here. Your RESTful API, all the things are coming here. Get student, add student. Uh, these are the methods you have written the past the APIs, right? So you can see here. Here, you all things you have here. Get student, add student, update student, delete student. All the APIs are here there. Right now, I'm going to post the click here, post this one. I'm going to add the record. So you try out. ID should be auto increment. So here we have to type this one student name, which is a John course Java. Execute. Now here the record has been created, right? So now here, if you got the load, get try out, execute, here it's working. The API is working. Here the one record will be added. If you get the records, you will be able to see the records, right? Now the fetch record, the edit record, you go here, try out, you click try out button, then only you will be able to work, right? Okay, so try out, right? So get method, so what is the ID response? So ID one, right? So here I want to update the record. So the patch, there's a patch record. The ID one. So John have written John. So write Peter. Of course, I'm going to change as JSP. Click execute. Sorry, you have to specify the ID one. Execute. Now here it will be updated successfully. Right. Now I'm going to delete the record. Now you can see here, go to the get. So you execute that. John Peter, only the record will be there. Now if you want to update the record, delete the record, here go to the delete request. What's the record? ID try out. ID one I'm going to delete. Right? One. Click execute. Success. True. Now if you go here and check, execute, There is nothing here. I already have one record, have deleted. This is how the RESTful API works. Successfully, we have completed the RESTful API access here.